welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing the highly requested 1 year later follow-up to my video, peeling back the curtains on what I have in my bank accounts. This is everything I have saved, invested, and total debt this time at 27 years old. So welcome back, you guys. This is year 3 of filming this video. It's actually my second time filming it. You guys saw in the intro, I made like a beautiful coffee and I just didn't like the way that first video turned out. So we're filming it again today. I put on the same sweater that I filmed last year. I feel like it will bring me good luck, but no coffee today because it actually made me super jittery. So we're just on water today. If you guys can see, we have an Easter egg in the frame. You might see Maggie, you might just see her paws. Let me know if you can spot her. She's being so cute right now. So 3 years ago, I decided for whatever reason that it would be a good idea to sit down on my floor and basically just peel back the curtain and let you guys know everything I had in my bank accounts at the time as a 25-year-old. My intention back then is the exact same as my intention now, and that is simply for transparency. It is not to brag, it is not to show off. I don't feel like I really have anything to brag about, and it is definitely not to give you guys something to compare yourself to. I am a huge consumer of YouTube videos and just social media in general, and so much of what I see on the internet is beautiful girls with beautiful clothes, beautiful handbags, beautiful cars, beautiful homes, everything beautiful. And that's what the internet loves. The internet loves aesthetics. Growing up, I thought that everything I saw on the internet was real and that if someone had a big house, it meant they were rich, or if someone drove a certain brand of car, it meant that they were financially secure. Growing up, something that you learn is that not everything you see on the internet is real, and I became very, very curious of what is going on behind the scenes. How much debt do these people have? How secure do they feel? How much savings do they have? Do they care about saving? Do they care about investing? I wanted to know all of those things, and unfortunately, most people are not putting that information out there, but I just thought, why not me, you know? Not that I have the most beautiful or the most aesthetic life or anything like that, but I just thought it would be cool for you guys watching to see what just a normal person kind of has in her bank accounts, the debt, the investments, all of that. So here I am at 27. So much has changed from that original video, and I want to say quite a bit has changed from last year. The biggest change is that I feel like I finally have a system and confidence when it comes to budgeting. So you guys know I follow a cash envelopes budget. I also use the budget tracker that I showed at the beginning of the video, and those two things have been just like my saving grace. I will be honest, 2023 was my highest earning year ever, coming after 2022, which was my lowest earning year ever since starting working full time, since graduating from university. And I had to learn not to get overly excited, not to want to spend, my higher paychecks, get comfortable with saving, get comfortable with my lifestyle. And that, I think, is the best thing I learned in 2023. I want to share it with you guys at the beginning of this video, because as we go on and as I tell you kind of what's in my bank accounts, I think so often when we are on our financial journeys, we think to ourselves, I just got to make more money. I just need to make more money. If only I made more money, I wouldn't have these problems. I wouldn't have this debt. All of my issues would be solved. And I'm here to tell you that making more money is not the solution. Making more money is part of the solution, but it is not all of it. Controlling your lifestyle, having a budget, whatever that looks like for you, controlling your spending, tracking your spending, and choosing consciously every single day to only spend on the things that really matter to you is what is going to help you pay off your debt, no matter your salary, no matter how much money you make. And I learned this lesson the hard way. Because I am a freelancer, I do social media, I also am a freelance copywriter. My income changes every single month. I remember last year, there was 1 month where I made $10,000, and that was more money than I had ever made in a month ever. $10,000 to me was so much money. So what happened the next month? I was overconfident, I felt like celebrating, and I felt like I deserved to treat myself. And I went back to my old habits of shopping like crazy, splurging on anything and everything I wanted, a lot of eating out, a lot of Uber Eats. Then at the end of that month where I had spent so much money, my paycheck was not another $10,000. That following month, I made enough to cover my basic bills, cover some of my spending, but I realized And I'm so glad I learned that making more money does not mean you can just spend more money unless you still want to be caught in that debt cycle and in that paycheck to paycheck cycle. So I learned that lesson really quick. From now on, I base my lifestyle on my lowest kind of average earning, and everything on top of that I earn is a bonus that sometimes I put towards treating myself, but most of the time I put towards my savings and my investment. And last year I really put towards my debt. So that is my intro, you guys. Let's get into the numbers. I have everything written down in this notebook. So let's start with my investments. Investments is my biggest bucket. Within investments, you have stocks and you have funds. I want to first talk about funds because this is where most of my money is. This is where I'm really focusing most of my efforts. I am not a financial advisor. I cannot give you advice, but friend to friend, I would say this is where you probably want to get started with investing. We will talk about stocks later on in this video. Now, I live in Canada, so I guess I should say that all of these numbers are in Canadian dollars. That is something to keep in mind. And in Canada, we have 3 types of government accounts that give you certain benefits when you are investing or saving your money. The first is a TFSA, a tax-free savings account. In this account, you do not pay taxes on your gains. So if you put in $10,000 and it grows to $12,000, you do not have to pay taxes on that $2,000. The next account type is an RRSP, a registered retirement savings plan. And this is a plan that when you contribute to it, you lower your taxable income. There are certain restrictions on how you can take out and use that money, when you can take it out, as well as how much you can contribute. The last account type is an FHSA, which is a first-time homeowner savings account. This is a new account from the Canadian government that is essentially a fusion of a RRSP and a TFSA. You kind of have the benefits of both. You have an $8,000 per year contribution room, and this is meant to assist first-time home buyers in buying their first home. So let's start with my TFSA. I'm looking down at my notes. When I was 25 years old, so 3 years ago in that first video, I had $6,600. Then when I was 26, I had $6,491. This was not because I took any money out of the TFSA. I was actually putting money in. But if you guys remember, in 2022, the markets were performing so horribly that my investments went down. I didn't panic. I didn't take anything out. I really just left it there. I don't know what this money is for yet. I don't have an intention for my TFSA, so I really just leave it alone. Try and contribute when I can. This year at 27, my TFSA sits at $7,000. This is with some contributions and also the market doing a little bit better. I don't think I'm really making any gains, but I'm starting to recoup what I lost. So my TFSA is invested in a fund with Wealthsimple, and funds are basically a collection of stocks and investments that the pros over at Wealthsimple or whatever bank you're with, they build that fund, they manage that fund, and you invest into it. Funds are great because they are diversified. You don't have guaranteed earnings, but they're a lot safer than buying individual stocks. You kind of leave your investing to the pros. So I have my TFSA invested in a fund with Wealthsimple. I love how we can see the projection over time. So the projection for this $7,000 in 38 years when I'm 65 is $58,000. And that just goes to show the power of compound interest, that if I do nothing and I just leave this money here, I should be at about $58,000 in 38 years. And yes, that's a long time, but $58,000 is also a lot of money. Next up is my RRSP. This is also invested in a fund with Wealthsimple. When I was 25, I had $4,400 in my RRSP. When I was 26, I had $12,000. And this year, you guys, I really made my RRSP my focus, and I am so proud to say that I have $30,000 in my RRSP. Coming from someone who had almost $50,000 in debt when they started out their post-graduation life, having $30,000 in the bank to me means so much, and I'm so proud of myself. To some people, $30,000 at 27 may not seem like a lot. To me, it's a lot of money, and I'm so grateful for it. And I also have to say that I'm really proud of myself because I worked really hard to save this money, but also to earn this money. It's just not something that I take lightly. And when I see this number, I really, really feel proud of myself. And it's so nice to see that my efforts are paying off. It's not always easy to say no to plans and cook dinner instead of ordering takeout. Saving your money and being on a budget isn't always easy. It would be a lot easier to just spend whatever you want, do whatever you want. Maybe take on debt, who cares? That's not me, and that's not how I recommend you guys be either, but I'm just saying it's not always easy. So when we make strides, no matter how big or how small, it's so nice to reflect and give yourself a little pat on the back, be proud of yourself because you're doing something for yourself and for your future. And I think that's beautiful. Now, the projection for this account and for this fund, if I were to stop investing in it right now, is $309,000. To me, that is so much money. It's absolutely crazy. What makes me feel really excited is that that's from now until I'm 65 years old. So that's over 38 years. And I get excited by thinking, what can I contribute to this over the next 38 years to make that potentially grow to like millions of dollars one day, right? The sooner you start investing, the better because of the power of compound interest. And I'm not saying that to stress anyone out. No matter what age you are, it's not too late. Even starting with something like $25 a month, $50, $100 a month, starting where you can, I think is so important. And I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit addicting as well, seeing your savings grow. If you had asked me when I was 25, do I think my RRSP would be at $30,000? I would have been like, no, I don't know how that's possible. And here we are. So just imagine what's possible over time when you put your mind to it. It's really cool and exciting. This year, my RRSP is my main focus. If you guys watched my 2024 financial goals video, you would have seen that I set a very audacious goal of contributing $20,000 to my RRSP this year. I'm super, super motivated. I really want to hit it. And I hope that next year when I reflect on what's in my bank accounts, this number will be at 50,000 or maybe even higher, which is so much money. It blows my mind. So the last account is the FHSA, the First Time Home Buyers Savings Account. This is new. So I did not have one at 25 nor at 26. This year I opened an FHSA and put $600 into it. I got really excited when I learned about this account because, like I said before, it really melds the benefits of a TFSA as well as an RRSP. But then I was swiftly disappointed when I learned that I'm not actually eligible for it. Because I live with my partner who owns a home already, if you like live with someone who owns their home, you're not eligible. It's so stupid. But anyways, I basically have to take this money out and put it into my TFSA or my RRSP. So yeah, but if you are eligible for an FHSA, I highly recommend looking into it because the benefits are awesome. You could try and max it out. Like I said, the limit is $8,000 this year. All right, sticking with investments, let's talk about stocks. So stocks are something that I think stress a lot of people out. They certainly stressed me out. And then I got on this like bandwagon of feeling like I needed to invest in stocks, needed to invest in crypto because that's what the finance bros were saying. I was like watching a lot of Graham Stephan and a lot of like really like male-centric personal finance content. And I'm not saying that stocks are only for men. I just think the videos in particular that I was watching were very aggressive. And I just felt this pressure that if I wanted to be up to speed with my personal finances, if I wanted to create personal finance content, I needed to own stocks. So just like the fund investments, you can have your stocks invested in an RRSP, in a TFSA, in an FHSA, or just a normal account. I have both an RSP and a TFSA. So let's start with my TFSA. When I was 25, I had $130 in stocks. I think I just bought like some random ones just to like dip my toe in the stock market. When I was 26, that went down 10% to $117. I think I even bought more stocks between ages 25 and 26. Since last year, since filming this video, I have not purchased any more stocks. I just decided that it's really not where I want to put my money right now. So without touching this account, my stocks currently sit at $116. So been nothing but losing money. I do have faith that they'll come back. It's such a small amount of money that for me, it's really just like an experiment. And at this stage in my finances, that's really how I see stocks, as kind of like a gamble, kind of fun and for learning. I do not see it as my like get rich quick scheme or plan or anything like that. You guys may not know this about me, but I did go to business school and I have a minor in finance. There's one thing I learned from finance class is that you cannot beat the market. Anyone selling you like a plan to get rich with stocks or like some cheat or whatever, it typically doesn't work, and those kind of hacks don't really exist. Yes, you can make good money with stocks over time. A lot of the people who do really big flip, really big growth investments in stocks, it's a lot about luck and it's a lot about being at the right place at the right time. So I'm not telling you not to do it. It's just be cautious and be smart, do your research, all of that. So in my RSP, I had a little bit more money. When I was 25, I actually had nothing. At 26, I put in $2,500, but that had still gone down. So I think it was between 25 and 26 that I was putting money in. When I filmed this video last year, I was at 2,500 and that was down 20%. Once again, I did not buy any new stocks this year. So today at age 27, my RRSP stock account is at $1,941. So it's still going down. I'm down just over $500 from last year, which is kind of crazy. I don't lose faith when the stocks go down. I don't feel tempted to pull my money out. I'm really just leaving it there, letting it do its thing. If I ever get to a point where I accomplish all of my other financial goals, playing around with stocks is definitely something that I'm open to. Once again, it's just not my priority right now. Let's talk about crypto. So when I was 25, I had no crypto. Between 25 and 26, I got really tempted by crypto. This was at a point where everything was booming. You guys remember NFTs, the like digital art or whatever. My boyfriend was seeing really great results from crypto. He had some family members seeing really great results from crypto and I wanted in, but I definitely got in too late. And even all of the people who were already in, everything kind of came tumbling down a little bit. This is a perfect example of what I was just talking about. You guys know the expression like crypto bro. Some people became very, very well off and performed really well with their crypto, but they would have had to have somehow known or gotten lucky to get their money out at the right time. If your money stayed in crypto, chances are you lost a bunch of money. Of course it can come back, like that's all the fluctuations of investments, but it's just to say once again that nothing is guaranteed. So between 25 and 26, I put $600 into crypto. Last year when I filmed this video, my account was at $227, so it had gone down 62%. Imagine if you had put in tens of thousands or even millions of dollars. 62% losses is crazy and definitely very painful. I have not looked at my crypto. I have not touched it. I was actually so surprised when I looked at it the other day that I am now back to pretty much my initial investment. So my crypto account is now at $634. So I'm actually up by $34. Part of me was like, should I just take it out and like, you know, call it a learning experience? But I don't really miss that $600. It's there. I'm gonna keep watching it and letting it do its thing. And once again, it's just a learning experience for me. So that's all of my investments, stocks, and funds. Now let's talk about my general savings. So in this video, I am not going to cover my really, really short-term savings nor my checking account. They just fluctuate so much that it's not worth discussing. The first account we will talk about is, yes, it's a short-term savings, but I do think it's important, is my 1 month ahead. So this is a goal that I've been setting for the past couple of years, which is to have all of next month's fixed expenses in my bank account by about the middle of the previous month. So that when the first comes around and it's time to pay rent or my insurance payments come out, I'm not scrambling to gather the money. Instead, I'm paying my bills with confidence. That being said, currently, as I sit here right now, I am not yet 1 month ahead. We're about the middle of February. My monthly 1 month ahead goal is $1,875. $875 is for my rent, and $1,000 is for the cash budget that I give myself every single month. And as we sit here, middle of February, I do not have the money in my account yet. I'm waiting on a couple of paychecks, but I think it should be there soon. That's the other thing about being a freelancer, is you don't have set paydays in the month. So I'm kind of just like waiting for a paycheck. If you are just getting started on your personal finance journey, I really recommend looking into getting 1 month ahead. It is something that gave me so much confidence and really chased away that living paycheck to paycheck feeling. The next savings account that I have is for my taxes. So being self-employed, my employer, myself, I guess, doesn't automatically take off and send my taxes to the government. I have to do it manually myself, and I put all of that money aside so that when tax season rolls around, I can pay my taxes. When I was 25, I saved up $5,000. When I was 26, I also saved up another $5,000. This year, you guys, I saved up $25,000 for my taxes, which I think is a much more reasonable amount. Every single time I get a paycheck, I put a percentage of it aside to pay my taxes. Really, really important when you're a freelancer so that you don't get any nasty surprises at the end of the year. The last savings account that I want to talk about is really exciting, very near and dear to my heart, which is my emergency fund. When I was 25, I had $12,000 in my emergency fund. However, I very much had the intention to take all or part of this money to buy a car, which I did. At 26, I had gotten it back up to about $4,000 with the goal of getting it to $10,000. Today at 27, I am so happy to say that I did indeed hit my goal. Right at the end of 2023, I hit my goal of having $10,000 in my emergency fund. And since actually hitting that goal, I've already earned $100 in interest. So my emergency fund now sits at $10,100. I have this in a Wealthsimple cash account earning 4% interest. My emergency fund has been like this whole journey because I feel like it was one of the first kind of things that I learned about while learning about personal finances. It was like pay off your debt and start saving 3 to 6 months expenses. I really like the number 10,000. For me, it just felt like the magic number to help me feel secure. And I can honestly tell you guys, I do feel a lot more secure. I feel like I sleep better at night just knowing that I'm covered should anything happen. It's not really exciting saving for an emergency, but definitely feels so good just having that money there. So those are all my savings accounts. The last category we are going to talk about is debt. I love talking about debt. I feel like you guys know that about me. Everyone has a different philosophy when it comes to debt. Some people are not really afraid of it. Some people like having it. Some people like to leverage debt. Some people live with credit card debt and are fine with it. That could not be me. I am very, very anti-debt. I think it's just because of the way that I was raised. My mom really, really raised me to be almost afraid of debt, like almost too afraid of debt. When I had debt, I had a really negative relationship with my self-worth, feeling like I was worthless as a person because I had debt. It really got in the way of my sleep and it influenced a lot of my decisions. Sometimes I would feel so ashamed that I had like this debt, but then I was also like spending like crazy to kind of like soothe myself. Like it was just really weird. Anyways, you guys know my story or you can go back and watch. But for me, living debt-free or mostly debt-free is the goal. I hope one day that I will have a home and will have a mortgage, but I think I'm going to be the type of person that's going to want to try and pay off my mortgage as quickly as possible, try and avoid future car loans, and always avoiding credit card debt because credit card interest is ridiculous. It is so high. I don't know about where you live, but for me, credit card interest is literally 20%. And the way I think of it is you would be really happy if you went online shopping and got a 20% discount. So don't pay 20% more by letting it sit on your credit card. So when I first filmed this video at 25 years old, I had already gotten rid of my student loans. I had a few sources of debt totaling up to $14,500. I had a car loan that was $11,500 and I had a line of credit that was at $3,000. The line of credit, I believe, was from like either insurance or some consumer debt that I had like transferred from my credit card. Not proud of it. At 26, I worked really hard to get rid of most of that debt. And at 26, it was at $5,111. So that's actually pretty impressive, almost $5,000 between ages 25 and 26, especially that was a lower earning year for me. That's like an interesting reflection. Good job. Of that $5,000, $2,900 came from the car and $2,170 were from my line of credit. I know last year I did have an insurance issue where my car insurance for the whole year came out in like one lump sum and I wasn't prepared for it and I just like didn't have the money. So I stuck it on my line of credit. And from last year to now, I worked extremely hard, super prioritized my debt, and I am so thrilled and proud to say that I am debt free. My car is paid off, that line of credit is paid off. I'm just really enjoying being debt-free and having an emergency fund. It's like, oh, I sleep like a baby most nights. It's really crazy how far I've come being someone who would check my bank accounts obsessively every day, check my debt tracker, wanting to pay off my student loans, keeping me up at night, thoughts racing about finances, to now being in a place where I feel really comfortable and I just want to continue building on all of the foundations that I've kind of built for myself. It's really exciting and I'm so grateful for you guys being on this journey with me, whether this is your first video of mine that you're watching, whether you've been watching for the past 3 years or anywhere in between. I just love sharing and talking about personal finances with you guys. So I want to thank you so much for watching. Now, some people have started referring to this video as my net worth video. However, I am not going to add it all up. You can do that at home if you want. I also just don't love the expression net worth for myself because, like I talked about before, I felt like when I had debt that I was kind of worthless, and I don't want to start tying my feelings of worth to how much or how little money I have in the bank. It's just not really an alley I want to go down right now. Maybe I'll change my mind over that in time. But until then, this was just everything I have saved, invested, and total debt at 27 years old. You guys, I love you so much. Thank you for watching. I'm going to stop talking and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.